My name is Ashley Love, and I'm the director of POTUS, or Behind Every Great Dumbass, are 7 women trying to keep him alive.
Thank you so much for talking with us today. I really, really appreciate it. I am very excited about the show, especially with everything going on in the fun world of politics right now. Also,
Right?
happy Mugshot Day for everybody that celebrates.
We
Um,
all do here.
as far as POTUS goes, what can people expect to see from this production?
I think people can expect to see a story of some very hilarious, talented women who are communicating the story of how they keep the country functioning while they're also being challenged and challenging one another and examining their own roles and responsibilities and upholding those very systems that are holding them back and have put them in the position that they're in. Um, it's a farce, so you're going to see a lot of hijinks, mistaken identities. You're going to see a lot of fighting. You're going to see some blood. You're going to see some chase scenes, and then you're going to see a karaoke concert at one point. So there's a lot to take in. There's definitely a lot to take in. I love this story because it's the story of women, and the setting is the very heart of politics, and it's so interesting when we look at the role of women in the political sphere to put that on stage and to isolate everything that's happening in the political realm to this one place in time where we only see the women behind the curtain, who are making everything, who are keeping everything going.
I love that. I really do. It's so funny too, because I mean, even when you start looking at it from a perspective of like our lives growing up, I know in my family in particular, like my mom was like, she ran the family with an iron fist, and it's
Yeah.
like, yes, Dad, I know you think you're doing the things, but we all know who's really running the show.
Yes. Yes.
So what has been some of the biggest challenges for you directing a show like this?
This has been a really fun puzzle. I've got a really brilliant team on board. And so we've all been supporting each other and trying to figure out what is the best way to tell this really hard story, because it is a farce. So it's very physical. And our unique space is a giant thrust. And when this premiered on Broadway, one of the biggest challenges is we changed locations really, really quickly. And the nature of the way that the text is, it is another character in the story. The characters, the actors all interact with every inch of the set from start to finish. So the Broadway version, they had a revolving stage to keep the action going. So one of the biggest challenges is how do we make our very stationary thrust space work? And it's a smaller independent theater company, so we don't have the same amount of resources. So how can we use the people and the materials that we have to keep this going? And it's a chaotic circus that happens. So figuring out the timing of everything has been a fun challenge. And again, the team is brilliant. So having everybody bring their creativity and their creative problem solving skills to the table has been exciting and very, very energizing.
I am so excited for this. This will be my first time checking out a show at Stages, so I can't wait to see what you guys are bringing to
Awesome.
the table.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
pretty thrilled. I'm very biased, but I'm having a great time watching it.
that's good. If you weren't having a good time, I'd probably be a little worried right now.
Sure,
So.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Now, of course, with all of the absolutely bonkers headlines that are happening in the world of politics and things right now, how do you feel like Houston audiences are going to receive a musical like this, or a show
Well,
like this, I should say?
yeah, I think they're gonna be relieved, to see what's happening played out on stage in the context that we do have some modicum of control. We have more control than we think that we do. And I love that this play straddles this world between the farcical and the reality of the situation. And because there's so much in this script, Selina, the playwright, she's so brilliant, that if you want a night where you just want to laugh and you just want to see funny physical comedy, you're going to get that. If you want to feel challenged and you want to feel a call to action to do something about your frustrations, you're gonna get that too. I think whatever our audience members bring to their viewing experience, everyone's going to have a unique time, and they're going to see themselves reflected back to them. And if they want to take it seriously, the invitation is there, but they're going to have a good time regardless, because it's funny and there's so much physical comedy to this play. It's so much of it is choreographed between the fight choreography and the intimacy choreography, that it's a visual and visceral experience to be a part of the audience. We really wanted the audience to feel like they were another character and they're in the White House with us, and they get to be a part of it at all times. And I think we've done a really good job of making that happen. I think it's interesting when we think about politics and going to the theater. I personally believe that theater is inherently political. The very first theater performance in the way that we engage in it in a Western society, it was in a courthouse. And the choice to not be political is inherently a political decision. And what I appreciate about theater since its inception, in whatever form you want to think of it, in its history, it is always a reflection of society as it is, but it can also show us what society can be and what humanity can be. And this play absolutely holds both of those things at the same time. And the way that we've approached the script as stages, there are other productions going on, but we are showing the world as it exists right now, but we're also showing you this is what it could look like. This is how it could be better for all of us, regardless of your identity. And I think there's something refreshing in that. And it's a fun way to look at our individual roles in our daily lives. And I think you're able to poke fun at the situation and yourself, while also engaging in a self-discovery and what can I do differently? If I'm feeling this way about politics, then what am I doing to cope or to progress things in a way that matters to me as an individual? But if an audience member isn't in that space, they're still gonna have a good time.
I love that. And definitely for sure, laughter and hope can be some of the best medicine out there for sure.
Yes,
and then you just sprinkle in some fight choreography, and what more could we ask for, guys?
Yeah, no, you just need some self-affirmations that you're capable of anything while seeing the character get fake punched.
Love it. I'm signing up twice. So one of the things that I love is this is, of course, an all-female cast that's in this show, and Houston has been kind of killing it lately with bringing some very strong female-driven shows to town, from 1776, from Six, the musical. All of those have been coming in and just killing it and really showing what females can really bring to the stage. What has this experience been like for you working with this cast? And tell us a little bit about each of them individually and what we can expect to see.
Yeah, I think what I really appreciate about Stages is for all of the staff and artists that are brought in, they try to pair us with the stories that we're best fit to tell and that we can bring the most truth to. So not only is this an all-female cast, it's primarily an all-femme and non-binary production team. All of the designers are women and non-binary artists. Our crew are women. I cry all the time with how grateful I am, because this is the first time in my entire career. And for most of us, we've been talking about this, we've never experienced that. And it's so common in our industry. And for us to get this experience for the very first time, it's both frustrating but exhilarating. Approaching this as a director has been interesting, because something that's mentioned in the play is that there is a new dawn coming, with the implication that women are going to own their power for the first time. And so as the production company, we asked ourselves, what does that look like to us? And how can we reflect that both in the story, but also in the process by which we tell that story? So this entire process has been the most collaborative and compassionate space and storytelling experience I've ever had in my life. We have a wonderful intimacy director. Her name is Laura Moreno. She came in on the first day and we talked about consent and power dynamics and boundaries and what do we do when we cause harm and how do we navigate conflict in the creative process, because conflict is inevitable. And we show up as our full authentic selves. We talk about our feelings every day in rehearsal. When we're talking about the story, we're talking about the logic, but also where it lives at that intersection between our personal selves and our characters' lives. And every single woman is so unique in this process and how they create art. And the space has just been so generous, and everybody is, as far as I know, is getting what they need as an individual artist. And that is something that is so new to me. And it's exciting as the director to just witness it and to have the privilege that they allow me to be a part of it. And for much of this, it's, how can I show up for you? Now let me get out of your way. With each of these women, Michelle Elaine, she plays Margaret, the first lady. She's so funny. She's just so funny and brave. And I love the way that she approaches the puzzle of every single moment. It's this delicious hypothesis to figure out for her. Chelsea McCurdy, she plays Jean, the press secretary. Her timing, and I can't watch her for 5 minutes without cracking up. She has moments in the play where she says absolutely nothing, but just to watch the storytelling on her face, that's worth the ticket price alone. Deb Hope, she's playing Harriet, who is the chief of staff. Brave woman, she helms this ship that we see, and she brings such a delightful contrasting energy to the other characters. And it's just so great to watch how each of them relate to her character. We also have a couple of newer actors for stages. Helen Rios, she plays Stephanie, the presidential secretary. She is running from start to finish. That is the bravest actor I have ever seen in my life. She brings such a fun energy to Stephanie, while it's also so vulnerable. And I get so inspired by watching Stephanie's journey. It's easy to throw her character as, the clowny character because of what she experiences. She accidentally takes a lot of drugs for the very first time, and we see her navigate that. And it's just really, really, really impressive. Alex plays Dusty, who is I'm not going to give away her relationship just yet, but she is so funny, and she has these moments where it's so hard to tell if her character is serious in that moment, if she's joking, if she's in on the joke, if she's helping the joke along. How she has approached this character, it's so smart and heartwarming, and you just love her character from the very first second you meet her. And that's largely due to the energy that Alex brings. And Alex is so great at, you can say, here's an idea of what this moment could be, and she will bust something out without even thinking. And it's better than anything I could have ever thought of. Casey Love, she plays Bernadette, the president's sister. Just a great contrast energy to the other actors and the other characters. I don't want to give away too much about her role. Trying to think what other character have I. Chris, she is played by Jessica J, and she's a White House reporter. and she's been away from the reporting scene for a moment, and she's come to the White House on this day to do a special piece on the First Lady, and she gets wrapped up in what happens with the president and their day, and she becomes a part of fixing the country, essentially.
Oh, so just a small task.
Just a small, tiny thing, not a huge deal.
Today I've got to go grocery shopping, I've got to put gas in the car, and I have to fix the country. Nothing too taxing.
Yes.
I love that. So is there a part of the show that, especially when we get down to opening night, that you're going to be like, I can't wait for the audiences to see this particular scene? You don't have to like go into detail about what it is, but is there a moment in the show where you're like, this is the one that I really want to see what their reaction is going to be?
Yeah, there is, in every single scene, there is something that is just so compelling in one way or another. But there's a particular moment that the team has worked really, really hard on. And it is, I would say, probably the most technically challenging, both from the production elements to the acting. It's what we have nicknamed the chaos scene, where sound design, lights, the set, the fight choreography, and the actors, every millisecond is choreographed. And it's set with the music and the lighting to drive a sensation that I hope that the audience is able to come on with us. And it's a roller coaster of a ride once it drops. And we get up yesterday, or a couple of days ago, we had our sound, just the sound cue to cue. And we had the sound timing out with the action. And I was getting so pumped just knowing what was going to happen when we introduce lights. We're working on it today with the lighting elements. It's just so, I hate to use this word. It's cool.
That's a good word still, okay?
But it's cool to be a part of it, not to witness it, but to be a part of it. And I think we've done a really great job, again, of working with the set designer, Laura Hawks, in how the audience is physically engaged in the set and in the action as this is taking place. Oh, it's so much fun. So I'm excited to see the audience enjoy that moment.
I can't wait. I'm hyped about it right now, and I don't even know what to expect. So let's, okay, I always like to end on this question because, of course, there's no better way to hype up a show or a production than by the people that are putting it together. Why do you think Houston audiences need to come out the stages and see POTUS, or Behind Every Great Dumbass, or 7 Women Trying to Keep Him Alive?
You're gonna have a great time. Just come. But we have some of the most talented women in Houston theater on stage together at one time. And there's something so magical about this process, where it is a story about women running everything imaginable, and it's told by women, and it's a historical event for this space and for this city. And I think nobody's going to want to miss being a part of that. And regardless of your identity, you're going to see something in this play that you understand and you relate to, and you're going to see the people that you know, and you're going to see thoughts that you've had said out loud in front of you, so you don't ever actually have to voice those thoughts. So you don't want to miss this.
I love it. I know I'm excited to see this production. Ashley, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for talking with us today. I do really, really appreciate it. For you guys that are watching, you can check out the stage's production of POTUS, or Behind Every Great Dumbass, or 7 Women Trying to Keep Him Alive, playing September 1st through October 8th. You can find out all information about the show and purchase tickets at stageshouston.com. And yeah, you do not want to miss this. We're going to have a great time together. Choreographed fight scenes, everybody. Let's go. And again, Ashley, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing this production. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
This has been Ray with the Houston Film Fanatics. We'll talk to you guys really soon. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.